Hello everyone, I'm out in my forest, going to take some pictures with my Fuji GFX. But first I want to say heartfelt thanks to everybody who subscribed and liked my videos. So I finally made it to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which means I'm finally monetized. And this is a goal I've had, I've been working for this for the last 10 months or so. So I'm super happy about that. But today I thought I'd walk around with the GFX, and I got the 28mm Pentax K lens on. I'm going to shoot some wet plants. But I'm also going to tell you everything about how hard it was to get to this stage, to get monetized. And it was very, very hard. One of the hardest things I've done, except for learning to surf. That was harder. But it took dedication and a lot of work. And thanks to you who stuck in there, I finally made it. So I thought I'd share everything I experienced. I'm filming this on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This will also be a little bit of a test of what this camera can do. I'm going to experiment a little bit and see how all the features works out. When I was looking around on the internet for these kind of videos of how it is to get monetized, I didn't find too many that talks about my area, which is hiking and photography. So I don't know exactly what to expect when it comes to getting monetized. So I thought I'd remedy that here and just spill all the beans, lay the cards on the table and tell you my story of how I did it. So I've been on YouTube for quite a few years, but I haven't taken anything seriously at all. I used to do a little bit of hiking videos and a few photography videos, but not really for public consumption, just for friends and family, that kind of stuff. But then I thought last October, maybe I should give this a go. Maybe it could be interesting to actually have a YouTube channel, see what it takes to get a channel. So I started doing some research. Getting the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours is not that easy. So by just publishing these videos that I had before, I'd reached around 200 subscribers already. And I had just a couple of hundred of watch hours. I pretty much went into it from scratch, which is really hard because the YouTube algorithm doesn't have a clue about you, so you're just posting into the void and your first videos are just going to get 20 views, 27 views, something like that. It's kind of hard to know how to begin. So the trick is trying to figure out how much effort to put into making one of these videos. Because if you're only going to get 27 views, no matter how good it is, it's kind of a waste, but you don't want to make it so low effort that nobody wants to watch it at all. So I decided quite early on that I would employ a technique of learning on the job. So I would start out kind of crude and just post, and then I would try to improve one thing with each video. So I would just decide which thing I wanted to improve now. Would I get maybe like a better mic, maybe upgrade the camera, maybe introduce different types of editing and that kind of stuff. Just one little thing each time I published a video. So eventually it would get a lot better, because when you've done 100 videos, that's 100 small improvements. So something would look better, I would assume. But first let's back up a little bit. Why would I actually need or want a photography/hiking channel? So a little bit about my background. I studied arts in the academy in Stockholm, and then I moved into VFX. Moved to London to work there at some of the big VFX houses. And at that time it was a lot of Marvel movies, Iron Man, the Avengers, that kind of stuff. That's something I really love to do. So I'm what you call an environment artist for these kind of movies. And I was sitting around at the office. I've always been out hiking and going out fishing and all that kind of stuff. But as I was sitting around there, I got in tune to watching some YouTube videos from the UK. The landscape photography is quite the big thing over there. So I was watching YouTubers like Thomas Heaton, and I was also watching a lot of hiking videos, a lot of Pacific Crest Trail, Appalachian Trail, that kind of stuff. So I got interested to see what's in my backyard. Going to Portugal, that kind of thing, and then eventually getting into buying some cameras and such. Fast forward till now, I am getting a bit tired of the office work. Now I think YouTube is maybe the only viable way to actually have a chance of making money or a living on your photography. So I know from before going to art school, You have like gallerists, but they are very special people. And they end up ripping you off more often than not. I had a lot of friends who ended up in that situation, and that was why I decided to go into VFX. Well, it's always been a passion of mine, but I thought, oh, I need to get a base, get a real job, so to speak. A lot of people would say that being a landscape photographer is not a real job, and they would be absolutely right. It's super hard to make any money off that, but I think YouTube gives me the best chance on that. I think of one of my heroes, Jeremy Wade, and yes, that is the River Monsters guy. So he traveled around the whole world just chasing after these huge beasts swimming in the rivers. An absolute fantastic TV series. Now, that's not a real job either, but he still made a living out of it. And I think it is pretty much the same, that you can't be a river monster hunter. It's not a job, but you can be the guy who films the river monsters and the way you hunt them, and that's a real job. So that's where we are with the YouTubes, and it's the same thing with being a landscape photographer. It's not a real job, but filming it and presenting it definitely is. Let's talk about how I actually did over this 10 months. I didn't have any viral videos at all. I have really been grinding it with view counts that are like between everything from 500 to 5,000, but nothing that reaches anything close to like 100,000 or anything like that. I had one video from way before that had 45,000. That's my India video. And thanks a lot to all my Indian subscribers. So what I decided to do is to post one video a week for as long as it takes, and it really did have an effect. Now this is the number one tip if you search for tips how to be successful, that you should be consistent. And it really does work. It makes a world of difference. Before this I posted maybe once every month, and it doesn't really give the algorithm enough information about you to pick it up. But doing it like this, it slowly but surely would grow, and then I would get into some kind of a stable viewer count, and the subscribers would also grow slowly but kind of predictable. Which type of videos to post? Videos I really love to do are the ones in the field, just like this, or when I'm hiking up in a mountain. But it's not every day you're on top of a mountain. In order to get one video out each week, I had to find something else. And I do love my vintage cameras and my lenses and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't that big of a problem. I was just looking around on my shelf and seeing which lens I had. Maybe I could take that one out and talk about it. Maybe compare it to some other lenses. Maybe compare camera systems to each other. And that turned out to be a lot of fun, actually. I learned really a lot comparing different types of film stocks to digital and all that kind of thing that I have on my catalog now. Very valuable, so nothing I wouldn't have wanted to do anyways. But that's the thing when you start a YouTube channel, because you get under this pressure where you need to get something out, you will do stuff that you otherwise would have thought, I can do it another day. But what every photographer figures out pretty soon is that the videos that perform the best are the ones that are tutorial based. I don't think it would be that hard actually to just sit in your room and talk about the lenses there without ever going out. Now I love going out, so that's why I'm doing it, but I could definitely see that just sitting and talking about ISO settings and all that kind of stuff would work absolutely fantastic to get subscribers and views. It's a little bit heartbreaking when you've been out in the mountains and that one just gives you a few views, and you sit and talk about a Lightroom setting and it gets a couple of thousand views. But that's how it is. I think I'm going to keep on getting out there. That's what I want to do. I don't need another desk job. I think also it used to be easier. First of all, a couple of years ago, you didn't have to reach the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watched time. Also, the quality was a little bit more homemade, let's say. There's a lot of YouTubers that you see that they started their first video with just turning on the desk lamp in front of their computer, reading into their MacBook Pro camera, and that was a video. And it did did well, started the career. I think that's kind of hard to do these days. Quality needs to be just a little bit better even when you start. And luckily the cameras that we have do take care of that. You can easily get cheap, good cameras that will look a lot better than it did 10 years ago. But it is important to find the balance, because it's not that easy when you're starting out to make things that look and feel absolutely professional. You just can't do it. So you have to work iteratively, just build up and let the quality come over time. But just don't expect to get 10,000 views on a desk video like that. It rarely happens. However, with that said, one of my most successful videos that I made was such a video. I just turned on my desk lamp, had a poor echoey microphone, and talked straight into the camera. That's how I got started with this. So this round started with a response video to Thomas Heaton. So he was asking how much you can edit and clone in your videos and stuff like that. And I was thinking, you know what? I could actually do a response video to that and see how it goes. And it went a little bit too much, I think. I wasn't really ready for that. I don't think my opinions were anything controversial. At the end of the day, everybody does whatever they want to do, right? But I think the conclusion is that honesty is all that counts in these situations. If you can just tell people what you are editing out and what you are doing, it's all fine. It's your art, and we all battle it out in the marketplace of ideas. I think because of my background in VFX and doing matte paintings and the fakery for movies, I'm just interested in keeping my photography as real as possible. So I like some kind of a hybrid of landscape photography and documentary photography. That's my entry to the whole thing. I did have a couple of my hiking videos doing quite well, with the Slovenia one that got quite a few views, and it was a lot of fun to do as well. So hopefully I can make more of that in the future. Quite a few mosquitoes coming in. Thought the rain would keep them away, but nothing keeps mosquitoes away. But yeah, but that's pretty much how it is. Just publish and publish and publish, and eventually it starts growing. And for me, getting the 4,000 watch hours was a lot simpler than getting to the subscribers. Now, I've heard this is quite unusual. Most people actually get to the subscribers first, and then you have to wait a couple of months for the watch hours to catch up. But not in my case. So it only took me maybe 3 months to get to the watch hours, 4,000 watch hours. And then I had to wait another 5 months for the subscribers to catch up. So yeah, no, it's tricky. I just think depending on the genre you're working in, it depends on how willing people are to subscribe. I have another channel which is more computer graphics orientated, and I'm getting subscribers a lot easier there. But then the watch hours are going to be suffering. What happens when you get monetized? Well, first there are 2 tiers of monetization. So the first one is when you reach 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, and that is quite a lot easier to do, but it doesn't give you very much. You can get super thanks and a few other things, so it's not the real monetization. It's not the monetization that you're looking for. You want to tap into the AdSense money. That's what most people want. And that happens only at the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. But it is quite nice to reach the 500, and you get a bit of a plateau where you can take a rest and get a sense of accomplishment before you continue to the next step. And it is also quite good because you do become a full YouTube partner, so you can do all the paperwork, get all your tax info in there and all that. Well, I'm paying my taxes in Germany, and I am a freelancer in the VFX business mainly. That's my main stick. So that means I got all my tax information already done. I got my VAT a number, all that kind of stuff. So pretty easy to just fill in these papers. But if you don't have your own company, you might have to go through a couple of hoops. So that's something to consider. But if you do have your own freelancing business like I do, there is a very easy way to earn money quickly. So what you do is, of course, that since you have a YouTube business now that involves a lot of traveling, you got to go to the places and take the photos, you even got to buy cameras, etc. So you can deduct all of this on taxes, which you couldn't do if you didn't have your YouTube channel. They probably wouldn't allow you to travel to some mountain top and deduct all of that from taxes. And if you buy tents, etc., you can also deduct that, because now it's part of your job. And that's something you can do when you become a YouTube partner. It's all very proper. That is probably the best way for me to earn money, because I would be traveling anyways, and if you can deduct the plane tickets, it's a lot of money saved there already. I have been monetized now for a couple of days, and there is a delay before it kicks in. And today was my first day where I could see some of the results. And there is one thing that I noticed that could be a bit of a heads up. So you can see there will be a little bit of a green dollar sign on your monetized videos, and the red one for the ones who didn't get monetized. And I did notice that I had a bunch who didn't get monetized, and this is because I signed up for the trial version of Artlist and Epidemic Sound. So that means that if I am not a constant member of these services to get the music and things, they are gonna demonetize those videos. Or maybe they are monetized, but all the money goes to Artlist and Epidemic Sound, which I think is not a very good deal, because then I have to perpetually be signed up to these services, or else they steal my entire channel if I've used their music for all my videos. So I'm going to take those videos down and see if I can re-edit some of them and re-upload them with my own music. So what are my plans for going forward? So I got the monetization. I'm going to take just a breather for a day or two, and just to reassess, I'm going to think of how to proceed. So I'm going to analyze my videos and see if I can come up with a strategy. And my plan would be to make like a quality jump, see what worked, stick with that. It is going to be field videos. That would be the heart and soul of the whole thing. Walking around with a camera is what I love to do. But I think I will also introduce some more gear reviews, and not only camera. It is going to be a hiking and photography channel. That is what I love to do, and I hope you stick around for that. We're reviewing all the tents I'm using, canoes, pack rafts, you name it, wherever comes across my way. Because this is one of those things that I miss from the old YouTube, which made it so good. It's all those user reviews you had from people who actually used them. Nowadays it seems almost like it's a career in by itself to be a YouTube reviewer. It's so much more value when you get a photographer who has actually used it in the field and then talks about the lens or the camera. Hopefully I can stay shield-free for eternity. That would be my goal. There is a time when you work in the office, and then there's a time when you get tired of it. And maybe you realize at some point that life's not endless. And YouTube really gives you that chance to do something and not go broke. So if you are thinking about starting a channel, I do recommend it. It is a bit of a journey. You're looking at 1 year of commitment. But after that, you should be on solid ground. Now there is actually a thing that's called the summer slump, and I did feel it. This is my first year, so this is the first summer I have, that you do get the views dropping by as much as 60%. It does feel a bit weird. You're thinking, oh, it's ever going to come back? Hopefully it does. I don't really know, but I hope when September comes around and everybody's back from holidays that things are going to pick up again. So if you are going to start a channel, wait until September. It's going to feel a little bit easier. So just plan ahead now, get a few things ready, and then publish your first video when September rolls around. If you like this kind of content, why not like and subscribe? I got plenty of more of this planned in for the future. So soon I'm going up to Norway, then it's Peaks of the Balkans, hiking around in Montenegro, Kosovo and Albania, and then after that something more exotic. I'm thinking India, maybe Cambodia, and yeah, so stick around for that, and I hope to see you around.